The Battlefield 2042 beta was quite promising, and a lot of people seem to agree that the beta was a lot of fun to play, so I'm excited to play the full game, especially the Portal mode. However, there are some people unfairly criticizing the beta all because of minor issues, and the guy we'll be looking at today has made a video explaining how Battlefield 2042's beta is essentially the worst beta ever made compared to Halo Infinite and COD Vanguard. Now, to say COD Vanguard's beta was better than Battlefield 2042's beta, that's already a red flag from me, so let's go ahead and dive into this completely god-awful video.
Oh hey, you caught me at a bad time. I just got cast in a video game development related play. Apparently I play the DICE employee. Alright, well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get ready for my role. What the hell is this?
Oh man, off to an amazing start. It's just gonna be one of those videos, huh? The most bland humor you can think of? Alright guys, I hope you're happy, because you're gonna watch me suffer through this entire thing.
Battlefield 2042 beta was horrible, and coping with that kind of loss can be difficult.
This isn't a loss, my guy. This is just your typical Battlefield beta launch. It happened with a lot of other Battlefield games, especially Battlefield 4. And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending broken launches. It would be awesome if a Battlefield game launched in a perfect state. But really, that's just too much to ask, because you're basically asking for perfection on a large-scale shooter that has so much content in it. Especially if you consider the Portal mode. That shit's gonna be fire.
I know for a fact. I mean, I walked around with a ghost hunting app for 3 months after my dad died trying to talk to him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this thing's broken. All I'm getting is the word disappointed.
Look into my eyes, mortal. Laugh at my skit. I know you want to. Please laugh. I demand your entertainment.
I think I went into the Battlefield 2042 beta with a little too much hype because I didn't want to seem like a Battlefield hater, or even worse, a Call of Duty fanboy.
So basically, what you're saying is you're being disingenuous in this review because you don't want to look bad. Also, the fact that you got overhyped for this beta is a complete contradiction to your first video on Battlefield 2042, where you claimed that the game is not worth the hype. I'm gonna have to ask you to
keep that same energy.
But after playing the Battlefield beta, the Halo Infinite tech tests, and the Call of Duty alpha and betas, I have to say, 2042 was the worst. Just, plain and simple, across every single facet of gameplay, it's the worst.
See, here's the problem with this part. He's comparing Battlefield, which is a large-scale shooter with vehicles, classes, giant maps, and destruction, to basically arena shooters. I guess it's not that big of a problem, but you do have to realize that Halo, Call of Duty, and Battlefield all play in completely different ways.
In terms of bugs and glitches and the design philosophy of the game, which is even scarier than bugs and glitches. I gotta be careful, this is still empty from when I reviewed Far Cry 6. Because while the entire game was dramatically unpolished, and no, I don't care that it's an old build, every beta is an old build, where's the unedited footage of the new build then, if we're so inclined to believe it's better? Oh, that's right, we're using our imaginations, never mind.
If there's miraculously some sort of super polished, amazing version of Battlefield 2042 that's going to launch in a month, where's the unedited footage of that? Why isn't EA and DICE getting, Battlefield YouTubers to go play that version and get footage from that?
Because you're basically asking DICE to pull a Cyberpunk 2077, where CDPR sent in a bunch of YouTubers to review the game, they called it amazing, and then once the actual game came out, it turned out to be trash. You really want DICE to pull a Cyberpunk, my guy? Don't think so. And see, here's another thing. You had one video where you complained about EA and DICE being radio silent about Battlefield 2042. Just so you get this into that thick skull of yours, radio silence typically means that they're busy working on the game. No Man's Sky's developers went radio silent after the game was launched because they were too busy working on the game and polishing it. So why would you want them to do the opposite of radio silence, where they're going to be too busy hyping up the game rather than actually working on it?
Why did they release this beta if we're so close to launch and they have a better version ready for launch, or almost ready for launch? I mean, you might not think that betas are in competition with each other, but they absolutely are.
No shit.
I mean, no fucking shit. All these companies are doing is trying to make a quick buck out of this whole thing, so yeah, they are in competition with each other. You don't really need to point that out.
Halo Infinite had problems with its aiming and some performance issues, a couple graphical bugs. Call of Duty had problems with performance issues, visibility, and some graphical bugs, and then some balance problems with the ammo types, but I think all three of these games are going to have massive balance problems at launch. We'll get into that in other videos.
But Battlefield 2042 was the worst beta. I couldn't just point to 1 or 5 things. The entire beta was bad. Even the map that I initially really liked, I grew to hate throughout the beta due to its really barren, aimless nature. At first, I liked its barren, aimless nature. I liked that it didn't feel like a Battlefield 5 or 1 map, but it didn't feel like a good map after a while either.
Why?
Okay, first of all, you just contradicted yourself. You said that you liked the map at first because of its barren and aimless nature, but now you're saying that that's why it's bad. I'm gonna have to once again ask you to
keep that same energy.
And secondly, how is the map you're playing on quote-unquote barren? There's a ton of things going on in that map. The rocket, the tornado, the destruction. How is it barren? I'm just... What? Are you fucking blind or something? The map's not barren. Barren would be like fucking flat grass from Gary's mod. That just doesn't add up. Fucking hell, man. This guy doesn't know how to review things.
I actually ended up hating almost every aspect of Battlefield 2042 the more I played it after my initial impressions. There is something about the gunplay feeling too close to Call of Duty, too low recoil and arcadey for me.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And that's a problem because? Now, hear me out, man. This may seem shocking to you, but I think that's how video games work. They're arcadey, so no fucking shit. Why is this a criticism? Oh, I hate it when my game's too arcadey. Like, bro, the fuck do you expect from a fucking video game like Battlefield? I mean, Battlefield 4 was arcadey as well. You gonna hate on that game too? Call of Duty is arcadey, and so is Halo. So why exactly are you criticizing it for being arcadey? That's like one of the most dumbest complaints you could ever make in a video game. Whoa, it's too arcadey. Like, fuck off, man. You're playing a fucking video game. You sound like one of those Sony ponies that prefer graphics and story over fun gameplay. Like, so maybe you're just a fucking moron. Which I already knew that, because I walked into this shit.
Yeah, we saw a bit of that with Battlefield 5, but Battlefield 5 at least still feels like a Battlefield game in almost every other area.
Well, if that's really the case, then I'm kind of curious, man. What is Battlefield to you? Because as far as I'm concerned, 2042 is a fucking Battlefield. And how exactly is Battlefield 5 any better compared to Battlefield 2042? Elaborate on that. Oh wait, my bad. Reviewers tend to not do that nowadays.
Maybe not every other area, but one of the largest areas, and that's, squad play.
Ah, yes. Squad play. The one aspect of Battlefield that almost nobody fucking does in Battlefield. I'm just gonna say this right now. If you're one of those people that complain about the specialist gimmick and you don't play the game in parties, you're full of shit. Because essentially, the whole thing about how DICE innovates with their games is that people will complain about how this class system is different and then say, oh, the previous Battlefield had a better class system. It's like a never-ending cycle of retardation. If you play with parties, I can understand where you're coming from, but by the looks of it, you're not. So yeah, you're full of shit.
The thing that defines Battlefield, and it has defined Battlefield since 1942.
Honestly, the teamwork argument is kind of pointless because like 90% of the Battlefield community doesn't even know what teamwork is. Again, if you play in parties, yes, but nobody fucking does it. Almost nobody.
Yeah, the squad system. Not a trivial matter.
Didn't Battlefield 3 have the worst squad system in the entirety of Battlefield? I mean, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass here, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. Like, teamwork was like non-existent in that game.
But don't worry, I've been informed by Battlefield's biggest fans that the Portal mode will have classes and that makes it all better. Because when all of your hope for the main game is crushed by the worst beta of the year, you have to put all of your faith into a side custom game mode. Yay!
Are you retarded?
Side mode? You're kidding, right? Do you even understand how big Portal mode is? Essentially, you're getting Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3 all remastered, put into one package along with Battlefield 2042, and the Portal mode lets you mess with the game's code. Does that really sound like a side mode to you? If so, you're retarded, because you're basically downplaying how big Portal is. It's one of the most awesome things that DICE has ever created, and literally everyone agrees.
I'm pretty sure I said in my I'm not hyped for Battlefield 2042 video.
Oh yeah, that video. The video where you said that you're not hyped and the game doesn't deserve the hype, and then in this video you're saying that you overhyped yourself for the beta. Yeah.
Keep that same energy.
That the peddling of nostalgia really concerned me, because I'm not going to buy Battlefield 2042 to go into Portal and make a better Battlefield game for DICE.
You don't have to do Portal mode yourself. You can join other Portal servers where they make up their own rules. I mean, I bet you didn't know that, seeing as how you're downplaying the mode like a fucking moron. I don't know, man. I'm just confused on your points here. I mean, nobody said you had to make your own game.
And I don't think anybody else is either. I think Portal's going to be a novelty that isn't going to be as supported as the main game.
You're wrong, and you're a grotesquely ugly freak. Thanks.
No, you're wrong. Almost everybody's going to be doing exactly that, and I've got a good feeling that Portal mode will last for as long as 2042 keeps thriving, which it will, like any other Battlefield game. I don't doubt that the game will launch as a buggy mess, but I don't care. Portal will most likely be the best thing to ever come out of this series, and hopefully there will be more content added to it, like 2142 or Vietnam.
Like, even if Battlefield Portal is amazing, how much content is it going to get? How many maps? How many weapons? How many presets? How many things will be added to that game mode?
I mean, bro, it's not rocket science here. Portal mode's like this, and I'm gonna do you a favor and I will explain it to you in kindergarten terms. Battlefield 1942 plus Battlefield Bad Company 2 plus Battlefield 3 plus Battlefield 2042 equals Portal mode. You understand now? Maybe you don't. Maybe you have the attention span of a fruit fly, but hopefully that's not the case, because I don't feel like explaining it to you any deeper than that. That's just the most simplest explanation I can give you.
There's no way of knowing you're buying into a $60 to $70 live service game that so many people are now going, well, at least Portal's gonna be a thing. Like, you're buying the game for a single side mode that you don't even know is going to be supported.
And why exactly do you think Portal mode is not going to be supported? I want you to elaborate on that, if you even can. There's no guarantee that Portal won't be supported, because everyone's hyped for that.
What happened to Firestorm in Battlefield 5? What happened to Battlefield 5 in general, or Battlefront 2 in general? EA kills off whatever doesn't have a strong player count.
I find it ironic that you're questioning what happened to a Battle Royale mode and a completely different game because of how their player count drops, when you're literally assuming the same thing is going to happen to Portal mode. I mean, you do understand that if a game is dead, then it won't be supported anymore, right? Also, Battlefield 5 is still being played to this day. There's still a lot of servers going on in there. Same thing with a bunch of other Battlefields, so what exactly is your point here? And another thing, since you brought up Firestorm, it looks like Hazard Zone is going to be like that, sort of, so you can look forward to that.
And the average normies that buy Battlefield 2042 are not buying it to go into Portal and play bastardized versions of Bad Company or Battlefield 3.
How are they bastardized? You don't really know that. See, this is the main problem I have with this guy. He doesn't really elaborate on why some of these things are going to be the case. He's just assuming things left and right.
So put that notion away entirely. The game is heavily marketed towards Warzone and Call of Duty fans.
The game is heavily marketed towards Warzone and Call of Duty fans.
I'm gonna die from responding to this shit, I swear to God.
From the gunplay to just the nature of how the game feels, it's the easiest to lone wolf Battlefield game I've ever played.
You could literally apply that same logic to every other Battlefield game, because nobody knows what the fuck teamwork is.
With super fast health regen and automatic vehicle repairing, the lack of a class system, a horrible spotting system, it is the most like Call of Duty Battlefield game ever, in the sense that, yeah, teamwork might happen if you're playing with friends, but it is in no way emphasized.
It's never been emphasized at all, not even for this entire fucking series. Like, bro, answer me this. How long have you been playing Battlefield, and how often do you play in parties? Because if you rarely play in parties, you're full of fucking shit. Because yeah, teamwork doesn't really happen unless you're in a party, and that same logic is for every other Battlefield game out there. And the fact that you're only applying this statement to Battlefield 2042 is fucking stupid. Holy fucking shit, you're dumb.
Battlefield games have always had trouble with teamwork because it's such a large-scale shooter. Everybody's doing something else, everybody has their own goals, and so yeah, it's not really going to be easy to cooperate with people that you're not in a party with.
Well, no fucking shit. It's almost as if you don't have a party with your team and you can't communicate, then teamwork is non-existent. And if that's such a fucking issue for you, play in parties and not by yourself.
But it's now going to be made even harder because a lot of cues that usually Battlefield players use to help out other players, they're gone. They're replaced with operator parts. And again, the whole video now already. There's a certain point I can't argue here because this is my personal experience and I have to stay true to it. Battlefield 2042 had the worst beta out of all the games I played this year. Here's it, and probably the game had issues, but Battlefield 2042 by far is the biggest disappointment that I've had in a while from a AAA game studio.
You can't pretend that this is the Battlefield game you were expecting, because when we saw Renazuks, large maps, and a near future setting, so many people were excited for the return to that Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, that Bad Company style of sandbox gameplay.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. What if I wasn't pretending? Like, this guy really thinks we're just deceiving ourselves? Like, no, we are not pretending at all. And another thing, I don't think you're in a position to talk about how 2042 does not have sandbox elements because, first of all, you're contradicting yourself again with the other video you made because you thought the sandbox elements were present and now you're not. And secondly, further proving that your take on the sandbox is shit, the Rendazook in the trailer can be done in the fucking game. And if you don't believe me, there's literally a YouTube video on Battlefield 2042 where someone does a Rendazook. So, right off the bat, your point has been immediately disproven. It's almost as if you're just talking out of your ass at this point. Also, you have to take the portal mode into consideration once again because portal mode is basically a sandbox mode.
And what we're getting instead is large-scale schlock.
I guess that's what the entire Battlefield series is now, just large-scale schlock. RIP.
Yeah, it's got the chaos of Battlefield. There's helicopters and explosions, but that's not the soul of Battlefield.
Yes it is. Or at least that's part of the soul of Battlefield. And if it isn't, then what is? I'm just kind of curious, man. What do you think is a Battlefield game?
The soul of Battlefield was gutted from this game. The nature of gunplay in Battlefield was gutted from this game.
Elaborate. How is the soul of Battlefield gutted from 2042? The only thing you gave us is that it's like Call of Duty and it's buggy. Like, those aren't cohesive arguments, my guy. You're talking out of your ass, except for the buggy part. I mean, every Battlefield launches in a buggy state. Again, I'm not defending it, just saying.
The Renazook in this trailer was to trigger nostalgia for games like Battlefield 3 and 4, when the internet was exploding with only in Battlefield moments, and everybody was universally on board with whatever DICE and EA put out, even when it was a buggy, miserable mess at launch.
So answer me this. You said that the beta was a beautiful buggy mess at first, and now you're saying it's miserable. That's another contradiction right there. But answer me this. If you had fun in the beta, which you did claim, then how is it miserable? Why are you having fun in Battlefield 2042's beta when it's also miserable? I'm kind of curious, man. It's not like you're contradicting yourself again.
Seriously, what the hell is this? The NRA for Battlefield fans?
Please stop. It's not funny. And the fact you thought it was funny is baffling to me. You're not a comedian, you're not clever, and you're not smart. All you are is an embarrassment. And you should erase this video of yours out of existence. And maybe your channel too.
We were excited for that return to form. Bye-bye Fun Police, we're back to Battlefield. And this is not Battlefield. This is not the Battlefield I know. This is not the era of Battlefield I grew up getting used to and playing and getting even kinda good at.
Well, I hate to break it to you, bud, but Battlefield being launched broken, that's just the way it is. And if you don't like it, wait for like a couple of months after the game comes out, and then buy it. Whoa, logic? Scary, I know.
I backburnered Battlefield after Battlefield 4 because Hardline was fun sometimes, 1 was fun sometimes but less, and Battlefield 5, I only had fun if I had a coordinated squad, and the moment I tried to play the game solo, I had no interest.
Once again, your logic can easily be applied to any other Battlefield game, and bro, you thought Hardline was fun? I need a moment.
I can have fun in almost every FPS game. I even had fun in the 2042 beta from time to time.
Ah yes, I had so much fun in the Battlefield 2042 beta, but it's still a miserable buggy mess.
You only get one first impression, EA. You only get one first impression, DICE, and you guys decided that this was perfect for public consumption. This is an open beta a month before launch for public consumption and review. I'm publicly consuming it and reviewing it, and you guys presented the worst beta of the year.
Nah, that goes to Call of Duty Vanguard. Just everything about it is just fucking stupid and unbalanced and shit. And to say that Battlefield's beta was the worst, that's just... You could say that with every other Battlefield beta, so yeah.
And the fact that I hear people saying that, oh, Portal will save it, or, you know, Battlefield 4 had a buggy beta. Yeah, Portal is a custom games mode that's not going to fucking save the entire game, especially since it's not what the targeted demographic is going to be playing, which means EA will probably do their tried and true kill it off before it has a chance to run maneuver. They keep doing that, you guys keep getting surprised.
First of all, nobody is saying that Portal mode is going to save Battlefield, and if they are, they're probably just incredibly hyped for saying that, and I can't really blame them. But Portal is something that will keep 2042 alive for a pretty long time, I'd say. And secondly, how do you know that the targeted demographic is not going to play Portal? If anything, that's what literally everyone is going for, because again, the classic Battlefield games are going into that mode. That's incredibly appealing to Battlefield fans. That claim really makes you think if this guy is a real Battlefield fan, but I don't know.
And yeah, Battlefield 3 and 4 had buggy betas, but that's not good. I mean, Battlefield 4 was in a horrible state for like its first year.
No, it was only like 6 months, so yeah, that's false information. And yeah, no shit, people don't like it when a game is buggy, but that's just Battlefield for you. There's so much content in the game and the maps are huge, so you just have to roll with it. And if you can't roll with it, then wait for a few months and then buy it. Simple.
Do not use the Battlefield 4 beta as an example of, oh look, all Battlefield betas are kinda rough. No, these games don't launch well. And I do not have, as Actman put it, the Stockholm Syndrome that Battlefield players have, where it's like, hey, release a horrible, shitty game at launch, and then, you know, I'll just wait for it to get better in like half a year or so. I expect every FPS game to have bugs and glitches, but when the entire fucking game of Battlefield 2042 could be categorized as a bug or a glitch, I don't know what to say anymore.
Okay, so we're gonna have to dissect this part, because there's a lot of things here we gotta debunk. First of all, people are not defending broken betas. They're just saying that they got used to it. You can't really have a Battlefield beta without tons of bugs coming in, and that same thing can be applied to a lot of other games. It's not just Battlefield that suffers from this. I mean, just look at Bethesda games. And secondly, Actman. Ooh boy, this may piss off some people, but I don't care. That's what I'm here for. So, Actman. In this tweet, he's being a hypocrite, because he's criticizing Battlefield 2042 for launching in a broken state, which is fair at first glance, but here's the thing. His favorite Battlefield is Battlefield 1, and not once in his review does he mention its broken launch. And yeah, that's every Battlefield game for you, but Actman is being a hypocrite. And another thing is that he compared Battlefield 2042's broken beta launch to No Man's Sky, which is another red flag for me. The reason why No Man's Sky was criticized was not because of its broken launch. That was only part of it. The main reason is because there was so much content just blatantly ripped out of the game, because obviously the game was rushed. Also the fact that No Man's Sky was completely unplayable. That's not even close to comparable to Battlefield betas, where yeah, it is buggy, but it's not unplayable. So I hope you all understand that.
There isn't one issue in Battlefield 2042. All you have to do is watch footage of the game and not lie to yourself.
But what if I'm not lying to myself? I mean, this isn't even a criticism at this point. It's just calling people retarded for getting used to broken beta launches for Battlefield. Like, this is fucking pitiful, man.
If you can manage watching footage of the game and not lying to yourself, then we'll be fine. I want to end this video reiterating this. If this is an old build of the game, and that's not indicative of what we're going to experience with the 2042 launch, then where is the preview of the launch version? Where is the unedited footage of the current, newer build that's polished and fun to play.
Can you just stop talking? Your words are like chopsticks digging deep into my ears until they hit my brain. It's fucking painful. All I have to say to this is just give them time, man. It's hard making video games. If you want a polished Battlefield game, just do what others do and wait. To have a Battlefield game released in a perfect state, that's like asking for Jesus to come back. It's just impossible. I'm just going to end it right here because my brain is hurting. If you like this video, please subscribe because I think I'm on the brink of losing my sanity, so I hope you have a good day. Fuck, man, I need to sleep.